What is up, everybody? It's your boy Verdict here, and thank you so much for stopping by. Now, today I have something very special. It's a very good topic of conversation that, in my opinion, is very important for us to have. And for that, let's just straight go to it, because I am kind of pissed, and at the same time, I don't know, let's Slayer. I'm kind of pissed and at the same time disappointed, and it's just a crazy thing to witness occurring into the world of Black Desert. A little bit of a prelude for this video is, as the title suggests, Pearl Abyss killed Blackstar. And I know it's a little bit of a clickbaity, and I understand that, and you probably would be like, what the hell do you even mean, Verdict? And I'll get to this in a moment. But this video might not speak that true to people that are in North America or SEA or MENA, etc. This is kind of especially true from the European standpoint. And in this video I want to show you guys what happened with the Blackstar. It's something unprecedented, never occurred before, and Blackstars are tanking so much to the point where things are happening that in my opinion shouldn't happen. It's an anomaly for the market, it's not good for the player, it's not good for Pearl Abyss, and we're currently in this damage control situation where people are exploiting something that is purposely set up by the market to never be able to be done. A little bit of an explanation. Black Desert Economy for the longest period of time could be measured with three resources. Think of them like the gold and silver standard in the real life. You have Crons stones, you have memory fragments, and you have Kaffir stones. For the longest period of time, these three resources were what drive the entirety of the economy. These three resources were the most valuable things. They were pretty much the standard for the games. Two of the standards fell off, and right now literally it's nothing but memory fragments, especially in Europe. Allow me to explain a little bit more. Blackstars were subjected to various changes. They were pretty much a byproduct of what Pearl Abyss were pushing off as really as a narrative, I would say. First, of course, it was the Crons stone change increases, which were not ideal the way they were made, because they pretty much kind of excluded Crons stones from being used for regular enhancing, or in other words, that change almost entirely obliterated means of safe progression, as in just kind of the linear side of things just completely went poof. The other thing is when they increased the price of memory fragments, so now because the linear progression is no longer worth, they also increased the prices of pretty much the progression, which is non-linear, and that is enhancing, failing, pretty much this up and down motion of the entire thing. And of course, last but not least, it was like the Kaffir stones, which totally died out of an incentive because, well, the more Fallen God stuff and the more Blackstar things are inside the market, and they're the most requested things, then the Kaffir stone dies. So a little bit with this we'll start, and let's just go through something. Now, ever since the Crons stone change increase, the attempt from vendor Crons for you to get a Tet to Pen Blackstar attempt is a little slightly over 11 billion. Right now, currently, it is cheaper for you to buy a Blackstar for 9.9 billion and simply tap that thing, and if it fails, that tri-sale will pretty much shoot you up further in terms of the progression side of things for the purpose of pen than you would be to buy a Tet and attempt it with Crons. That is really something that is a byproduct of bad changes coming in from Pearl Abyss, and especially recently, everybody that gets a Tet Blackstar from the seasonal for simply getting to level 61, I think completing a season or whatever the requirements for, all of this is right now really impacting negatively the economy. Now, people would be like, but Verdict, why is it so negative? Why is this a bad thing? Tet Blackstar is becoming cheaper because everybody is getting them. People are funneling back theirs onto the market. Well, that is where the bait resides, really. So what I'm trying to say here is, whenever there are tries, duos, etc. being funneled back into the marketplace, the desire to make bases completely evaporates. There is no reason for anybody to make base Blackstars because the market is capable of pretty much delivering the demand based on the players funneling theirs, because a free one was given that could not have been sold. Now, I'm not saying that it should have been sold, no, it just is what happens. So currently there is a deflation and inflation pretty much in both the value and the number of these being available. What I'm trying to say is that everybody that was running with a Tet Blackstar Slayer, for an example, on their main hand, got one from the seasonal and they threw it back into the marketplace. What's going to happen is people are going to buy this for cheaper attempt than to cron the Tet to Pen attempt. And what they're going to do is when that fails, they're going to throw it back into the marketplace, and essentially it's a little bit of a monopoly money situation where you take the resource, which you use it up until a certain point, and you return it back to the market. Now, essentially, the desire for a Blackstar to be created in this situation is only when somebody pens one. So for every pen Blackstar attempt, you don't need to supply that at any given point with the base. For every pen Blackstar success, it's only there when the market would like to get one onto the base so that it maintains its own self. This is just lunacy incarnate, which is currently happening in BDO. The sheer fact that Pearl Abyss have kicked themselves into it so much to the point where Cron stones are out of the incentive. So this also impacts their sales and outfits, because why would you buy outfits to Cron stone something that's not worth to be Cron stoned? And at the same time, from a player's perspective, it's like, I don't need to buy vendor Crons, so this silver stays liquid on me. One of the things which really pisses me off is that it all stemmed out from the somewhat debatable Cronstone changes, and then they kind of kicked themselves in the nuts, as I just said, with the future things that they've done. So many people are gonna ask, well, Verdict, how should they fix this? Well, I'm not the most brightest economist in this damn world, but to be honest with you, a revert onto the Cronstone changes currently is almost literally, I can't see it any other way. If they increase the base, if they start controlling the market artificially, such as, imagine that they're going to cap the pen Blackstar mains to 155 billion like the Awakening ones, or I think they were, it doesn't matter, whatever the cap to the Awakening is. Imagine that they start doing this. Well, now you're really messing up your own game, and you're going to have these pretty much, imagine that the mains price is not 114 but it's 150. These are gonna stay onto the bottom if that changes ever to appear. It's unhealthy for the market. Imagine that what they're do is they're gonna increase the prices of the TET to the bare minimum of 12.5 for an example, so that at least that wouldn't hurt the market that much, so that people would be buying, I don't have an outfit pre-order, but anyways, people would be buying these outfit pre-orders. And it's so absolutely astonishing that they've managed to mess up the market so much in terms of Blackstar, which is one of the main things that players want to go for, especially the TET to pen level. It's lunacy, it's ludicrous in its entirety. And I want to open up a quote right now for something that people forgot that exists. And to be completely honest with you, Pearl Abyss are masters in making content and pretty much killing that content within the next 2 patches. What I'm trying to say is that, well, Dragon Slayer equipment was released with the Dragon, and then they buffed the way that you could obtain Dandelion, and essentially they killed the entire necessity of Dragon Slayer. The Fallen God armors got released into the game with the Serendia, and then they released, the Fallen God, the Blackstar pen armors, they got released with Serendia, and then they pretty much created the fallen God armor, and then they started adding new pieces, and that killed the entire necessity for you to get pen Blackstar gears or TED Blackstar armors and upgrading them. So people are just doing nothing but vendoring the materials pretty much for kind of sell value, whatever that thing would be called. And currently the Godr-Ayed, because of the nature of the Godr-Ayed, is safe progressions through the means of enhancing with Crons, is completely dead. So much dead, in fact, that all of the things that you see here are currently half the price of what they should be if you were to start getting pretty much a TED Blackstar, make it into a Godr and progress it to a pen. Now, I've mathed very roughly over here. I have mathed very, very roughly what is currently happening with the Blackstar market in terms of Godr-Ayed, because Godr-Ayed is Blackstar. And first and foremost, Godr-Ayed goes for cheaper because it's so bad to make, and it was bad to make at start, even though I made one myself, because it was just, you just simply felt the progression, and that was the reward for it. It's going to be a little bit more expensive, but you would feel the progression. And with that being said, the current price of a pen Godr-Ayed Slayer, it's never been a good one to begin with, right? It's never been sold for it to go to 120. But the real price of this, you getting it from TET to pen without taking into consideration of stack prices, without taking into consideration the massive pure magic, without taking into consideration the base TET Blackstar, which you have to create into a Godr, which you have to create into the order. So this is just simply the stones, the repairs, and the Cronstone requirements from try to maximum. It would take you 228 billion, very rough estimation based on whatever we could scrape off as information, for you to make something that is currently worth onto the market 116. Now you can obviously switch this. And I'm not really sure if it's a good idea at any given point to do this, but even if you were to make this into a pen and to switch it, after all, the Slayer Blackstar is currently on 132 bill. Now, with that being said, it's so not worth. They've killed Blackstar enhancing for profit, entirely just murdered it. You simply cannot do it. As far as I'm aware, you simply cannot do it. They've killed the necessity for Blackstar Cron attempts just for the sakes of, as I said, the linear progression, the safe progression of it all. And the only thing that you can do right now with Blackstars is buy TETs, attempt it, repair it with memory fragments, sell it on try, and repeat this process because it's the best way to proceed. And that creates very big issues for the marketplace. The more the weeks go ahead without Probabilistic addressing this, the more you'll see these TETs go up. The more you'll see the necessity for TETs kind of going up. Probably they will cap at some point, and you will see the market being flooded with tries. And these tries, nobody would like to go and get them to TET because you can simply not profit from them. Unless you're going to 120, 130 stacks, you cannot profit them. And those stacks are not to be profited from to begin with, right? It's so convoluted. I understand this perfectly, but I seriously believe that this is a crisis in BDO in terms of economy, and I'm not really sure how to fix it. Now, I want to know your opinion, guys, on this, because probably for some this is perfectly fine. For others that are enhancing for profit on you, this is absolutely horrible. And for others, they probably don't even know that the Dragon Slayer weapons and there's pen Blackstars, etc. even in existence. So I don't know, guys. You tell me what you think about this. So far, I am kind of disappointed with this, and to be completely fair, this is in need of some very heavy damage control right now. Whatever happens after all, but currently, yeah, just this entire situation needs to be fixed. Love you to death, guys, and I'll see you soon.